You spend 3 hours studying. You read every page. You highlight half the textbook. You reread your notes twice. And when you finish, you feel good. You feel prepared. Then the test comes. The page is blank. The question looks familiar, but the answer is gone. And you start thinking, maybe I am just bad at this subject. But here is the truth. You may not be bad at studying. You may have been training the wrong skill. Because most students study for familiarity. But exams test recall. An exam does not ask, have you seen this page before? It asks, can you produce the answer from your own brain, right now? That is a completely different skill. Today, I will show you the 3-part study system that actually helps you build memory. Recall. Space. Explain. No complicated apps. No 10-hour study days. No motivational speech. Just a system you can start today. Let's start with the mistake nearly every student makes. You open your notes. You read them. The words look familiar. The topic feels clear. And your brain says, I know this. But recognizing something is not the same as remembering it. You can recognize the lyrics of a song when it starts playing. But could you sing the whole song from memory with no music? Probably not. That is the difference between recognition and recall. Rereading is not useless. It can help when you are seeing a topic for the first time. It can help you check something you missed. But rereading should not be the main way you study. Because it is too easy. It gives you the feeling of learning without forcing you to prove what you know. Here is a quick test. Close your notes right now. Can you explain the last thing you studied? Not recognize it. Explain it. Can you write down the key points without looking? Can you answer a question your teacher might ask? That is the real test. And the uncomfortable moment when you cannot remember something? That is not proof that you are failing. That is useful information. It shows you exactly what needs work. The first method is called active recall. But I want you to remember it in a simpler way. Recall before you review. Instead of looking at the answer again and again, force your brain to bring it back. Here is the process. First, study a small section. Not an entire chapter. One concept. One page. One problem type. Then close the book. Put your notes away. Take a blank page and write. What do I remember? Write everything. Key words. Definitions. Examples. Steps in a process. Names. Dates. Formulas. Then open your notes. Use a different colored pen. Add what you missed. Those missing points are not proof that you are stupid. They're your personalized study plan. You do not need to revise everything equally. You need to practice the gaps. Here's what this looks like in different subjects. In biology, read about photosynthesis. Close the book. Write. What does a plant need? What does it make? Why does light matter? Then check your answer. In mathematics, look at one solved equation. Cover the solution. Now solve a similar question without looking. If you get stuck, do not immediately read the whole answer. Find the exact step where you became confused. In history, read about an event. Close the page. Write. What happened? Why did it happen? What changed because of it? In Danish or English, read a text. Then explain. What is the main theme? What evidence supports that idea? What effect does the author create? The rule is simple. Do not practice looking at information. Practice producing information. At first, this can feel slower. It can feel harder. Good. The struggle is part of the learning. You are training the exact skill you will need in an exam. The second mistake students make is waiting too long. They leave everything until the night before. Then they study for 4 hours. They survive the test. And 1 week later, most of it feels gone. Cramming can sometimes help you get through tomorrow. But it is a weak system for learning something properly. Instead, use spaced repetition. That simply means, return to the topic several times over time. Not for hours. For short, focused recall sessions. Here is a simple schedule you can use. On day 1, learn the topic in class or at home. Spend 5 minutes recalling it without notes. On day 2, test yourself for 10 minutes. Use flashcards, questions, or a blank page. On day 4 or 5, come back to it. Try to recall the key ideas again. 1 week later, test yourself once more. Then, before the exam, practice it in the same way your exam will test it. The exact schedule does not need to be perfect. The important thing is that you do not meet the material only once. Every time you return to it, you're telling your brain, this matters, keep this. Here is a powerful habit. After every lesson, take 5 minutes. Close your notebook. Write down what you remember. Then look at your notes and add the missing pieces. That small habit means you are already revising while the lesson is fresh. When exam time comes, you are not starting from zero. You are simply strengthening what you already built. The third method is where real understanding becomes visible. I call it, explain it back. Some people know this as the Feynman Technique. But the important part is not the name. The important part is this: if you cannot explain an idea simply, you probably do not understand it clearly enough yet. Pick one concept. Then explain it as if you were teaching it to a younger student. Use simple language. Do not hide behind difficult words. For example, instead of saying, photosynthesis is an anabolic biochemical process, try this. Plants use light energy to turn water and carbon dioxide into glucose, which they use for energy and growth. Now ask yourself, can I explain why that happens? Can I give an example? Can I explain what would change if one part was missing? The moment you get stuck is valuable. That is where your understanding ends. Go back to your notes. Fix that one gap. Then explain it again. This works in every subject. In maths, explain why you use a certain formula, not just which buttons to press. In history, explain why an event happened and what consequences followed. In languages, explain the theme of a text using evidence. In science, explain a process step by step in your own words. You do not need another person. Explain it to your phone. Explain it while walking. Explain it to a mirror. Explain it to an AI and ask it to challenge your explanation. The point is not to sound clever. The point is to find out whether your understanding is real. Now let's put everything together. The system is: recall, space, explain. Recall means closing the book and bringing the information back from memory. Space means returning to the topic over several days instead of only cramming once. Explain means teaching the idea simply until you can see where your understanding is strong and where it needs work. Here is a realistic routine. After class, spend 5 minutes recalling what you learned. Later that day, test yourself for 10 minutes. A few days later, come back and recall it again. At the end of the week, Explain the hardest concept out loud in simple words. That is it. You do not need to rebuild your entire life. You do not need to study 6 hours every evening. Replace just one rereading session with this system. That is your first move. Tonight, choose one topic. Not 5. 1. Study it for 10 minutes. Close your notes. Write down everything you remember. Check the gaps. Turn those gaps into 3 questions. Explain the topic out loud in 1 minute. Then put a reminder in your calendar to test yourself again in 2 days. That is how you stop performing the act of studying and start building knowledge that stays. You are not behind because you struggle to remember. Nobody is born knowing how to study. Most schools teach you what to learn. Very few teach you how to learn. Now you have a better system. Recall it. Space it. Explain it. Try it once tonight. Then come back and tell me, which subject did you use it for? This is the growth blueprint. Learn better. Work smarter. Grow for life.